beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I am Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today I have to share with you my IMATS haul and a little bit of a vlog. I'm going to do my haul first for those of you who really just want to see all the goodies I got, and then I will do the vlog afterwards for those who want to stick around and see a little bit about my trip and hear a little bit more about my trips. I did manage to take several photos and get a few little video clips here and there that I thought would be really fun to include and share with you guys. So yeah, if you're interested, just stay tuned to the end of the haul for that portion of this video. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into my haul. The only bag I really kept was this big one from Makeup Forever because it's like a reusable tote bag and it's big, and recently in California they just passed a law about charging for plastic bags, so I've been really trying to use a lot more reusable bags. So anyways, this is really the only bag I kept, and it has all my stuff in here. And the funny thing is I only got one little tiny thing from Makeup Forever, and yet I got this giant bag, but it's all good. So I'm going to start off with the clothing items that I picked up from Crimes of Beauty, which I actually think I did. I purchased shirts from them last year at IMATS, but this year I got some sweats. I got a pair of joggers. They say Slay on the leg here. They're super cute, super comfortable. I did get the size extra large, and they fit me pretty perfectly. And then I also got an off-the-shoulder sweatshirt that I've been wearing like all week, and actually in a few videos that I filmed for my Instagram. It looks like this, just a plain black one. It says wake up and slay. And it's funny because, like I said, I've been wearing it all week. I've been practically living in it, and most of the week I have barely worn any makeup, so I've just been like, yeah, I'm waking up and slaying my dark circles. That's what I'm doing. So moving right along, this is what I picked up from Double Dare Spa, which most of you guys might recognize as the Oh My God masks that are all over like Instagram right now. And I actually did a video of the gold mask, which I actually uploaded here on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram account. But anyways, I grabbed a few masks from them. Actually, my girl Christy J MUA purchased the set and gifted me a few of them when we went over to their booth. So one of them is gone because I already used it, but I did get the 2-in-1 kit detoxing bubble microfiber mask. So I'm excited to give that a try. It's supposed to be a bubble mask. Then I got the Oh My God 4-in-1 kit zone system mask, which has different masks types for the different zones of the face. And then I also got the Oh My God 3-in-1 kit hair repair serum or system, which is a shampoo and hair mask, I believe. So I will be trying that. And of course, I also got one of the adorable Oh My God headbands, because that's one of the main things, like when I seen them all over Instagram, was seeing the adorable headbands, and I was like, I really want one of those. So I actually went and purchased this at the booth there as well. Next, I purchased a lipstick from Dose of Colors. Now, Dose of Colors was right across. For those who don't know, I went to IMATS to work actually for NBA Cosmetics. So our booth, the NBA Cosmetics booth, was right across from the Dose of Colors booth. And so I had to mosey on over there and grab one of their lipsticks. I didn't purchase any more than that, just a lipstick, because I've never tried anything from Dose of Colors, but I've heard really great things, especially about their lipsticks. So I just grabbed one lipstick. This is the shade Kiss of Fire, and I just love those bright corally reds. I just am so attracted to those. Those are the ones that like a moth to a flame is what I am to them. So that's what I picked up from them. Okay, and then I also headed over to the Morphe booth and grab some brushes. So some of them are dirty because I wanted to try a few of them out already. I didn't want to wait until I filmed this, but I've heard some really great things about their brushes, and especially this one. Before leaving for IMATS, I saw like in 3 different makeup groups people talking about this brush. It's the M439 brush. Everyone was saying how it's like their new holy grail foundation brush, and it was just so amazing. And so I was like, I need to try that brush. Now, it doesn't look super different than any other foundation brush that I have. It is a little bit, I think, whiter and a little less dense than some of the other ones, but I still want to give it a try, and it's like super affordable, so wanted to see what all the fuss was about. And I also decided to grab another kind of foundation brush. It looks very, very similar. This is the M444. And truth be told, I got it because I was actually unsure if it was this one or this one that people were talking about, but I'm pretty sure it was this one that everybody was talking about. Now this one is very similar, as you can see, but the bristles are a little bit shorter. This one looks like it tapers a little bit. I didn't realize that at first. So it's slightly tapered, and it's just a little bit more dense. Maybe because it's shorter, it just feels a lot more dense. So I was just curious to give them both a try. This seems like one that would be really great with cream products. Now I also, you'll see, got a cream foundation from Makeup Forever, and I think this would actually be really great with that as well. And so then I also picked up several smaller brushes for the eyes. This one actually is a highlighter brush. This is the R36, and it just looks like this. I see everyone always using these little tiny ones for highlight, and I was like, I think I need one. I want to see what the fuss is about. You guys know I always use my big fan brush for my highlights, but I don't know, I wanted to see what this one was all about. Then I got the M58 brush, looks like this. And most of the brushes I picked up were kind of just like blending brushes, because you know you can never have too many blending brushes, and they always seem like they get dirty the fastest. So that's what most of them are. This one, what is this one? This is the R40, the R40, and it looks almost like a slightly smaller version of that highlighter brush I got. So it just is like a tapered brush. I'm not quite sure what I would use this for. Maybe like really blending into the crease, or maybe like precise highlight. I'm not quite sure, but that one appealed to me apparently, and I picked it up. So there's that. So then I got the R39, which, is that the same? No, that's not the same. Another blending brush, the R39. It looks like it's kind of tapers right here and tapers a little bit right here too. It looked like it was a little bit similar to my very favorite blending brush, the Sedona Lace EB09. So I think that's why I got that one. I think I got two of the same R39. Yeah, another one. So I got two of these ones just because they look like that tapered blending brush that I really, really love. Like I said, my favorite from Sedona Lace. So I was like, oh, I'll pick up two of those to look very similar. If they work the same, it'll be great because I love having backups of that brush. The next brush I got is the M433, and it's very similar to the other ones. It's just a little bit more rounded. So it's almost like a rounded, tapered blending brush that seemed like it'd be really great for some precision and kind of really packing on some color in, I don't know, in the crease. I don't know, I kind of was in a rush. The day we went over there, it was in the morning because we were, like I said, I was working there. Got to be there earlier before the rush came in, and so I kind of went over to their booth before they like officially opened, and it was like just minutes before they were like letting people in, and people started kind of coming in as I was still looking. So I was kind of just going around their booth picking out things that I thought I really needed before I wanted to hurry up and check out and get back to my own booth. So anyways, the last brush I got is a really neat brush, one that I've never really seen before. This is the M430 or M430, and it's like a duo fiber brush, but like for eyeshadow. I've never seen anything like that before, and so I just thought this would be a really cool brush for like really diffusing out shadows in the crease or really fully blending. I don't know, I just thought it looked really, really neat, and so it looked like something I really needed, so grab that. So the next item I picked out is something a little bit gimmicky, I guess, but I was really intrigued by it. So this is called Lash So Clean, and basically it's like a falsie eyelash cleaner, and they basically made it seem like you can like clean your lashes like super easy and amazing and like super quick like, and not ruin your false lashes and stuff like that. And so I was like intrigued by that, because most of the time when I clean my false lashes, I basically just pick the glue off of them, and sometimes I'm not always careful and mess up my lash band or rip out some of the lashes. And so I was like, oh, I want to try something that'll help me clean them and that'll be a little bit simple, but it's actually not that simple. It's a tiny little spray bottle. Let me just open it up and show you guys. I tried it that one of the days I was there in New York cleaning my lashes that one evening. So you spray this spray, and it's just like a tiny little thing, and I think it's like mostly alcohol, because when I sprayed it, like a little bit got on my hand, it just like absorbed like alcohol would. So you spray that on there, and then you get this like this little brush here, which kind of folds in like this, in and out. And so there's like a little brush side and then like a little comb side, and basically the picture just shows that you just like brush your lashes like while they're just sitting there. You spray the spray and then you brush your lashes. But the thing is, like, the lashes don't just stay on like on the counter or on like a paper towel, like they move around. You actually still have to hold them and like brush it, and basically almost still just pulling the product off. So it really is not that easy. Now the spray did seem to work to help me get the glue off a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, but it definitely wasn't like mess free or super easy or more convenient like I thought it might be. So very gimmicky, but it was only like $10 I think, and so I don't know, lesson learned. I just want to try it, and not that great. Next thing I got 2 items from a brand I've never really heard of before, I don't think. When I was walking around with Sam, one of the other NBA cosmetics workers, we saw this and we were attracted to the booth because the little symbol on it is like an A with a crown, and we're like, that looks kind of like the Anastasia Beverly Hills logo, but we looked and it was like absolutely New York. So we thought that was very weird that the logos seemed very similar. But we walked over there and it was a bunch of really affordable products, and so we looked around, and I wasn't actually going to buy anything, but then I got kind of pulled in by this liquid liner, and it's called Shape and Define, and I was really intrigued by it because of the shape of it. Basically like an angled tip liner, and just seemed like it would, I don't know, just apply like a really nice, easy line on your lash and possibly help me work on creating a wing. I'm trying to practice creating a winged liner because I don't really know how to do it very well. And so anyway, so I was just intrigued by that. I thought it looked really nice and convenient, like it would be a great liner, so I got it. And then I decided to also grab one of their mascaras. I was more so just intrigued by the shape of this one. This one's called Lash Pop Length and Curl, and it looks like this. It is really thick, but I love that it was like a kind of curved wand. I have a thing about curved wand mascaras. Those are kind of my preference because like when I put on my mascara, I do a little curve, and I think the little curve shape helps to curl my lashes. So I always am kind of attracted to mascara ones that have a curve in it, and so I wanted to give this one a try as well. I haven't tried it yet, so I'll let you guys know what I think. Now the next thing I got was a sharp, I always say that, tart shape tape. Now there was, I felt like a little bit of drama at the Tarte booth. Like Sam and I walked over, we were walking around, and we decided we wanted to, she'd never tried anything from Tarte, and I wanted to see if there was a deal on the shape tape because it is my new favorite and I love it, and I feel like I'm already almost running out of the one I have, and I was like, I'm going to see if I could get it at a deal here at IMATS because they usually have deals. So we go over there, and of course there's a big old long line, so we have to wait. We waited probably about maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour in line before we got up there, and finally get up there, and a lot of stuff was sold out already, which was kind of a bummer because it was only like the middle of the second day, and the first day's pro day, so I just feel like you'd think they would have a lot more product for it just being the second day. But anyways, I get up there, and they only had 3 shades left of this shape tape. And I felt like, I don't know, I don't want to like talk bad, but I felt like some of the people working there were kind of rude to us because I get up there and I was curious about the color. So I was trying to remember what color I actually own so that I can think if the color that they had left, which this is fair beige, which is a little bit lighter than the one I use, which I think is just fair or light. I can't even remember now. But I was trying to ask a question about the other shades, and the girl was like, oh, I don't know, you could just look it up online. And I just thought like, well, duh, of course I could look it up online, but I actually didn't have my phone. I left it back at the NBA booth because they were using it for cards to make payments at the NBA booth. So I just thought like, okay, well, if someone's asking you what product at a booth you're running, like, or helping out, wouldn't you just be able to answer the question? So I just thought that was really weird that she's like, I don't know, look it up online. It felt really, really rude to me. And also, like, even before that, like, I was waiting to talk to someone, and like there was 3 workers there that I tried to ask something to, and they just like completely ignored me. And I know it's like kind of busy, but it wasn't like there were other customers who needed help, and there were like 4 people in their booth just kind of like standing around, not really, I don't know, paying attention. So anyways, I kind of was like, I thought it was kind of rude at that booth. Also, my friend Sam purchased one of their little to-go contour palettes, and she got it, and they ended up giving her a to-go eyeshadow palette. So we ended up having to go back the next day again, so she was gonna return it and get the contour palette, but instead just purchased the contour palette again because she actually ended up liking the eyeshadow palette. But it just was kind of interesting how they weren't really paying attention. They didn't seem like prepared or knowledgeable about their product and stuff like that, and I don't know, just seemed a little bit rude at that booth. I don't know, it just was a little bit of a turn off. Like, I know working at our booth, you know, people have tons of questions. Not everybody knows everything about every brand, and so people are going to ask you questions. So we had people constantly asking us questions at the NBA booth, and I was always there to answer their questions, even about different shade range and stuff like that. And I just feel like if you're working at a booth, you should know about the products and be able to answer the questions and not just like brush people off and defer them to look at the website and stuff like that. So I don't know, I kind of had a little bit of a not good feeling about the Tarte booth, but love the Tarte Shape Tape, so I guess it was worth it, even though I only got a shade way lighter than I needed. But I think I'm just going to mix it in with other concealers, and it was a good deal. I think it was like 50% off or something. So next up, I have some brushes from Royal and Langnickel. They had a pretty big booth at IMATS, and I actually wanted to purchase a few more things. So they did have the those Moda like mermaid brushes that look kind of like the Artiste dupes, but by the time I was able to get over there, those had sold out, and I went on the 3rd day, so that's totally fine that they were sold out by then. But I definitely wanted to grab more of one of my favorite brushes, which is the BX80 brush. Now you guys have seen me use this since I've gotten it. All of my glitter looks, this is the brush I use with all of my pressed glitters. Whenever anybody asks me about brush recommendations to use with pressed glitters, this is the brush that I recommend. It's the Royal and Langnickel BX80. I think it's just an amazing brush. It's very it's like a nice domed shape, slightly tapered, a slightly thinner but a little bit of thickness synthetic brush that is just perfect for packing on glitters, especially a pressed glitter. So I got 2 of those just so I could have a backups, and then I also grabbed another brush which looks very, very similar. This is the BX66, and this one just looks like it tapers and domes a little bit at the top, and I don't know why, I just thought I wanted to give it a try. So also, funny story is, like, we had some guy, well, several people come to the NBA booth, but one guy specifically asking about the pressed glitters. So I was talking to him about the pressed glitters, and he was asking if I recommended like applying with my finger or with a brush or anything like that. And I was like, you can apply with your finger or a brush. I was like, my preference is a synthetic brush. I was like, I'm sure any synthetic brush will do, but my very favorite and I highly recommend is the Royal and Langnickel BX80. So I was talking to this guy and telling him these things, and then not thinking anything of it. So he was looking around at other things, and then as he walked around the other corner of our booth, I got a glimpse at his badge. So he was someone who was actually working a booth at IMATS as well, and I got a glimpse of his badge, and he was actually working the Sigma booth. So I just thought that was so funny that I recommended a Royal and Langnickel brush to a Sigma worker. But you know what, it is what it is. I love that brush, and that's what I recommend. So there you go. Okay, so the next thing I got, I'm so beyond excited about. This is the Melt Lovesick stack, and it's so beautiful. I don't need to take it out and show you guys because it's like old news, but still I will. It's so beautiful and so cool. I was so excited. So I actually picked this up at the Friends Beauty booth, and they were selling it for, I think, just $35. It was such a good deal. I've been wanting to try Melt Cosmetics for quite a while, and it's so expensive, and so not to say it's not worth it, but I just had not been able to get myself to purchase this stack because it's what, like $55 plus shipping, and it's 4 eyeshadows. I mean, like, come on. But anyway, so when I saw that they were doing it for just $35, I was like, okay, I have to get this. It's so beautiful. So they had the other stacks there, but this is the one that was really calling my name. So beautiful, and so such a good deal as well. Okay, I only have a few more things left. So the next thing I got was a makeup eraser. I got a red one, and I love the makeup eraser. Now I have a little bit of a story for that too. I just thought it was really weird. So I went up to the booth. I was with Christy J at MUA, and she was like, oh, you don't need one of those. They're just kind of like a baby blanket or whatever. And I was like, no, I love those. So I was like, I have one already, but I just want a new one because mine's wearing out. And I did look up on the site, and it says they're good up to like 1,000 washes or something. And I noticed that like mine just wasn't working as well as it did when I first got it. But I love the makeup eraser. I actually did a review here on my channel like 2 years ago or whatever. So I've had it for a long time, and so anyways, I was like, I knew they were going to be there, and I wanted to get a new one. I thought it'd be better than paying for shipping and stuff like that. So I go up to the booth, and the ladies there were, it seemed a little bit weird. So they asked me if I wanted to see a demo, and I was like, oh no, I've already seen it. I love it. I just want to get another one. And she was like, kind of gave me this weird look, and she's like, well, why do you need another one? What are you doing to yours? I've had mine for 3 years, and it's still good. And I was like, like, I was like, mine just, you know, it's a little bit worn out, and, you know, I wanted to buy a new one. And so I just thought it was weird that she would kind of like almost condemn or criticize me that I needed or wanted to buy a new one. It's almost like, do you want to make a sale? Do you want me to buy this, or you don't want me to buy this? I mean, I'm not putting it down. Obviously, I want to buy a new one. Like, I love it. The makeup eraser is like, it's like my favorite way to remove my makeup. It's so quick and easy, but it does wear out, and it even says on their website, like, it's good up to 1,000 washes, and I'm sure I've washed it plenty, you know, at least close to that, if not more. Anyways, and I just looked at it, I was like, well, I do quite a bit of makeup, and I wear lots of heavy glitter and stuff like that. I was like, mine's just kind of wearing out, and I wanted a new one. And she's like, okay, well, did you want one of the smaller ones? We have like smaller ones, and I actually have one of the smaller ones. They're like this size, and I got it in a BoxyCharm or some subscription box, so I already had one. I was like, oh no, I'm not really interested in them. They're a little bit too small. And she's like, yeah, you don't need them, they're useless. And I was just like, were you just trying to ask me if I wanted to buy one? And I was like, I just use that one for removing like my lipstick, like if I'm just removing lipstick in between doing something. And she's like, oh no, you don't need it. You don't need it for that. You could use the big one. I was like, well, no, I already have one. I don't. It was just so weird because she like just tried to sell me and then told me it was useless. So I was like, anyways, I was like, okay, well, I just would like to get a full-size one, and so purchased that. And I asked if they were doing any deals, and they're like, oh, it's $20, and that was like the deal, I guess. And I was like, I thought that's the regular price. She's like, no, they're like $25, and it comes to more after shipping if you order online. I was like, okay, because I remember seeing them online for $19.99. I could be wrong, but anyway, so it was a very, very weird experience. So I basically just purchased my makeup eraser and left. So I don't know if these are people who are actually like main people of the makeup eraser company, or just like independent consultants who happen to be there. I'm not sure, but they're very strange and seemed kind of rude. I don't know, I feel like they were trying to be funny or quirky, but I just kind of got a bad taste in my mouth about them. Anyways, moving on to, I have another story to tell actually. So I went over to the Makeup Forever booth, and I had a few things in mind that I wanted to buy, but I really wasn't sure. One of the things being the Ultra HD stick foundation. I've heard really, really great things about it. Now I love Makeup Forever. It is one of my very favorite brands. I love their HD liquid foundation, and so anyways, I really wanted to try their stick foundation. Now I really am not huge on cream foundations and cream products, but this one just, I was, you know, curious to go over to their booth and try it and touch it in person, and it felt really, really, really good. And now, like, this is, I love this foundation. It's so, so good. It seemed like the perfect kind of consistency, nothing too heavy, nothing too waxy. And so I was looking at the shades and wasn't sure which shade I should get. And one of the Makeup Forever workers there, her name is Sky, asked if I needed help. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm looking at the HD foundation sticks, and I'm not quite sure what color to get. And so she kind of turns around and looks at me, and then she like gives me this strange look, and like it kind of stops me in its tracks because I'm like, I didn't know if I had something in my face. I was like, what's happening? The way she looked at me was just like such a, I don't know, like shocked look almost, but not. So I was like, yes. And she's like, I know you. She's like, I watch your YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to your Instagram. She's like, I love your videos and stuff like that. And I was like, what? So then she asked to take a picture of me, which I thought was so sweet. She was like, would it be too cheesy to ask for a picture with you? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, she doesn't even know, but she totally like made my day. I felt like on cloud 9 that I felt like someone would recognize me. I just felt so cool. I've never been like recognized before. I say it in quotations because I don't know, like I feel so silly almost saying that someone recognized me, but that's what it felt like, and it felt so cool that someone was like, I follow you on Instagram, and I, you know, just kind of recognized me. And so she was so sweet. We took a picture together, and then she color matched me, and anyways, but that's my fun story from Makeup Forever. I ended up purchasing just this one item, and I am obsessed. I think this is my new favorite foundation. And by the way, if anybody's curious, they got the shade 118 equals Y325. The last thing I got, I have one more thing to share, and then I have some things to share, just a few little things that I grabbed from our own booth, NBA Cosmetics. I figured I'd save that for last, but I got one more thing, and actually didn't purchase this myself, because by the time that we came around to this booth, I was like, no, I'm done spending money. I'm not buying anything else. My like funds are done. I had like, I think $10 left. And I was like, no, I think I'm done. But me and Sam were walking around again, and we were looking at the Juvia's Place booth and their palettes, and they are actually so gorgeous. I've been seeing so much about them. I mean, we all have. They seriously are very gorgeous palette. So this is the Nubian. I don't know if it's just that Nubian. Yeah, just the Nubian palette. And so Sam and I were looking at them, swatching them, and I was like on the fence. They were like, are you gonna buy one? I was like, oh, I'm thinking about it. And I was like, you know, just sitting there like debating, like, it would have just gone over, because I think it was just 23 for this palette. So it just would have gone over my, like, you know, budget just a little bit. But I don't know why I was in that spot after I have just bought all the other stuff, and was thinking, do I really need one more palette if I have to think so hard about it? So I was like unsure, and then Sam was like, here, get two, I'm buying it for you. I was like, what? I was like, no, do not buy this for me, it's okay. And she's like, nope. And before I know it, she just went and bought one for herself and one for me. So thank you so much, Sam, for this. I already said thank you to her, but I'm just saying thank you again. So she purchased this for me, and that was the last thing that we got. But this is so pretty. So I'm very thankful to Sam for getting this for me, so I can give it a try. And if you guys want to see a look with this or any of the other products that I got, let me know, and leave a comment letting me know which items you want to see, you know, specifically or first, and I'll work on some looks with those things or those products first. So that is the last thing I got from other booths at IMATS. And so I actually only picked up a few things from our booth, mainly glitters, but let me get into this first thing first. So this was, I swear, just the IMATS of brushes, because I came home with more brushes than anything, which I probably don't need at all because I have so many, but I feel like a girl can never have too many brushes. So anyways, NBA Cosmetics recently started carrying some really cute brushes, so I wanted to grab myself a set of their unicorn brushes. So cute. So I grabbed this set, and they are available online now. And then I also grabbed some of their premium glitters. Now they recently came out with, they're not on the website as of right now that I'm filming this, but hopefully by the time this goes up live, they will be on the website. But anyways, they came out with some premium glitters, which are like a mixture of a bunch of different colors or shifters. They're the duochrome or shifter glitters, and they're so pretty. So I got 4 shades here, and I'll show them to you up close because they're just so gorgeous. So I got the shade Gravity, which I actually wore on the second day. I picked this up actually from the booth, and I was like, I'm gonna wear one of these glitters, that way people can actually see it in action. And then of course that day that I wore it, so many of these were sold, because not many of them were actually sold the first day, but I was like, people need to see these glitters in action, and I bet you they will buy them. But so many people purchased this one because I was wearing it, and they were like freaking out, loving it, taking photos of my makeup, which made me feel so cool. But anyways, and then I got Poison Berry, which I actually wore on the 3rd day of IMATS as well. And then I also grabbed a few others. I grabbed Relic, which is another shifter, and then I grabbed Hijinks. Alright, and that is it for the haul portion of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the goodies I got at IMATS, and be sure to leave a comment letting me know what items you want to see looks on or reviews on or more information on and all that good stuff. So for those of you who are only interested in the haul, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want you can just click out of the video now. But for those who are interested, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my experience with IMATS this year and share a little bit of footage that I got and some photos and stuff that I got, so let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, so like I said, I do work for NBA Cosmetics, so I went to IMATS to work the booth for NBA Cosmetics. I did go last year, so this is my second time going to IMATS, so I had a little bit of experience. But for those who don't know, I do live in California, so I had to fly all the way across country just for this event, and it's both exciting as well as nerve-wracking and scary all at the same time, because I don't fly or travel very often, and when I do, I hardly ever do it alone. I'm always with my husband or family, and so it's always an experience for me when I have to do something like this. But I definitely had to step out of my comfort zone this year. Instead of having a straight flight like I did last year, I actually had to take 2 flights from California to New York, and so on my first flight, I actually had a stop. My first stop was in Philadelphia. I was gonna have like a short layover before finishing off and going to New York. But when I landed in Philadelphia, my flight actually had been canceled because of the weather. So I was kind of in a panic. I wasn't sure what to do. My phone was dying, so I couldn't get a hold of my boss. Right away, I had to wait and like charge my phone. Philadelphia's airport is like not easy to navigate, and I'm sorry to say, but there wasn't very many super helpful people there, and so I just kind of felt like lost. I almost wanted to break down and cry, but I didn't. I found a plug, charged my phone a little bit, contacted my husband, contacted my boss, contacted Sam, who is the other girl who also promotes for NBA Cosmetics, who I was actually supposed to meet in New York because it was going to be her first time flying, and she's from Detroit. And so I had to let her know I'm not going to be able to be there to meet her in New York. And so finally got to contact those people, finally found a help desk and got put on standby for my flight, and was just so scared for a bit, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was for sure going to get on this standby flight. Information kept changing. I was exhausted because I flew out of San Francisco, which is 3 hours from where I live, and my flight was 6 in the morning. So because you have to be there about 2 hours before, they say to be there 2 hours before, I had to be there at 4 in the morning. So my husband and I left around 12:30, like midnight, just to get to the airport. So by that point, I think when I landed in Philadelphia, it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was so tired. Long story short, the standby flight was not for several more hours. So like I said, I landed about 2 or 2:30, I think, and my flight wasn't supposed to leave until 8 o'clock. But I was so afraid to fall asleep because I didn't know like if they were going to move things. A lot of stuff kept getting switched around at that flight because so many flights were getting canceled because of the weather. So I was scared to fall asleep. I was scared they might call my name for something. So I just was like kind of in a panic for like 6 hours until I actually boarded the plane and actually got my seat officially for my flight. But my first day just flying to New York for IMATS was just like a kind of a mess. By the time I actually got to New York and then to my apartment, it was midnight by the time I got to my apartment, because then I got to the airport and it took like half an hour for my luggage to get in, and then trying to get on a bus to where I was meeting my boss and Sam. Like it was crazy. But anyways, it was definitely a learning experience and definitely brought me out of my comfort zone, and I feel a little bit like I can handle some things now. Our apartment was stunning, so gorgeous, had some of the most gorgeous views, and it was so like, I don't know, I just felt so cool in our like cool apartment that was like huge. It was so nice and comfy, had a gorgeous like little living room, and we each had our own room, and it was just so beautiful. I'm gonna be putting some photos up for you guys to check it out, but I love that. So we get to feel like really New Yorkers, like staying in an apartment there and stuff like that. So anyways, the first day of IMATS, for those who don't know, is a pro day, and it's a lot more of a slower day. It's not as crowded. It's just for pros and stuff like that. So the first day we actually have a little bit of time. I think it doesn't start till 3, so our booth, we have, you know, each booth has plenty of time to finish setting up and stuff like that. Now I do have some footage I'm going to hopefully insert here as I'm talking of our booth. It looks so good, and also it was so exciting because I got to see my face on some little displays for our booth for the collection that I created with NBA Cosmetics. The collection is Vintage Romance, for those who don't know about it. So it was really cool to see our booth all set up with all the glitters, to see my face on some posters, and it was just really, really amazing. So like I said, the first day is a lot more low-key, but we actually got quite a bit of traffic this year. I think because NBA Cosmetics has had several features from Insider Beauty and different places, so their pressed glitters really got out there in the Instagram world. So we actually got a lot more traffic this year, which was pretty incredible. And it was just so fun to have people come up and touch the glitters and ask about the glitters and all that stuff. I just loved answering all the questions. It was so amazing. But like I said, overall the first day was pretty low-key and not as crowded and crazy. So day 2 is usually one of the busiest days because so many people are there, and day 2 was when I got to meet so many amazing people. Some people that I've met last year at IMATS, and then that I got to see again this year, and I will put their photos up. Like I met Linda of Glitter Fallout. I got to see Jen of Jen Loves Reviews. Nika, who worked with us last year at the NBA Cosmetics booth, was there again this year, so I got to hang out with her. I got to meet new people like Beauty by Julia. She's just so sweet. Several other Instagram beauties and friends. I'll put their pictures up and stuff like that so you guys can see. It's always so much fun going to something like this where you know there's going to be other people who you've only really ever met online who are going to be there. It's just so cool to like finally meet these girls in person, so I had a blast doing that. So I feel like my mind's all over the place, so I apologize if I'm totally rambling in this. I'm just trying to explain things, but some really great things also was that I got to meet Christy J MUA, who I've done several collabs with on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen her. She's got bright red hair. She's like the collab queen, as I call her. And so she actually helped out at the NBA booth too, and I've previously only met her online, so it was really cool just to hang out with her. She was so helpful, so sweet. I just love her so much. Another person I got to meet, who I already mentioned, was Sam, who is a promoter for NBA Cosmetics, and she's also one of our lip models, and so I got to hang out with her. She was actually my roomie, my apartment roomie. We shared an apartment together. I adore Sam. She's so much fun, so beautiful, and I loved hanging out with her. And so anyways, day 2 was just super busy. We didn't really do a lot of like sightseeing or anything in New York. Last year I actually got to do a little bit of sightseeing and walking around. I went to Grand Central Station, I think that's what it's called. I went and just walked around Times Square and things like that, but this year we didn't really do too much of that because we actually, our work days were just so busy, and we were so much more busy this year that by the time we were done with like our work day at IMATS, like we were just exhausted and ready to like go to our apartments and just relax. So day 3 of IMATS was pretty similar to day 2. It seems like day 3's like kind of an in-between of day 1, which was a little bit more low-key. Day 2 is like crazy crowded and packed, and day 3 is still pretty crowded and packed, but I feel like not as crowded and packed as the second day. So day 3, I actually got to spend a lot of time kind of going around to some of the booths, and that's when I did a lot of my shopping as well with Sam. We kind of hung out and like went around the booths and stuff like that for like the second time. And day 3 is also the day we pack up and clean up, and it's kind of cool to see like all the production, all the big stuff just kind of like being taken down, and like it's kind of like bittersweet. You look around, you see all these, like some of these booths are really big and just these huge productions, and then you like start seeing them being torn down and like everybody working to put everything away, and it's just, I don't know, it's incredible. and it's very interesting to see. It was kind of cool because the sugar pill booth was kind of adjacent to where we were, and we got to see like them taking it down, and actually Shrinkle was there the whole time helping take her booth down and stuff like that. It's really just interesting to see the huge production of IMATS just like kind of coming down and coming to a close. And it's kind of like one of those like sad moments because it's over, but also like a relief that it's over as well. It's a lot of fun, but it's definitely a lot of work, especially if you're going there to work a booth or work the show or anything like that. But it's also probably exhausting for people who are just there to buy because there's so many crazy lines and stuff like that. But anyways, we ended up staying till the day after IMATS so that we can fly. And so my flight again was early in the morning, so Sam and I had to be up to be at our airport. I think our flights didn't leave till 9, but we were up at 5 just to be able to get a bus over to the airport because it takes so long, and it's really crazy the amount of traffic and time it takes just to get from one place to another. Like where I live, it would probably take like 5-10 minutes to get somewhere, and in that same distance in New York to get, it's like in 30 minutes to 2 hours possibly. It's just insane and so different how like trafficy and crowded it is there. It definitely made me appreciate my home and where I live in my small town. I call it a small town, but I know there's a lot of people who live in smaller towns than me, but our town is like kind of like a country town. It's very wide open spaces, not a lot of you know, there's just not a lot of buildings, crazy, you know, busyness everywhere. And so it just made me like definitely miss and appreciate my home. And flying home thankfully was actually a breeze compared to when I flew into New York. I again had 2 flights to go home, but both of them were on time and there was no issue, so I was able to get home without any delay, and I'm super thankful for that. But anyways, that's about it for my little overview and vlog about IMATS. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys went, be sure to leave a comment letting me know your experience. If you haven't gone but plan to go next year, I hope you will stop by the NBA Cosmetics booth, because most likely I will be going again next year with NBA Cosmetics, and I would love to meet you. Anyways, that about wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes.